Last May, in New Waterford, Cape Breton, the body of a local teenager was found face down in a brook. An inquiry found that there had been no culpable negligence in the death of Clayton Miller. But the boy's parents believe the truth wasn't revealed. They've reached their own conclusion about how their son died. Jim Gray reports.
The police were there. There were some people standing around. I went down the hill, went over by the brook, and when I seen him, I started to cry.
On Sunday, May 6th, Gervais Miller found his only son dead. Clayton Miller was 17 years old. 2 nights before his body was discovered, Clayton Miller had gone to a teenage drinking party. It took place near New Waterford's Collierylands Park, in an area known as The Nest. According to later testimony, at around 10 o'clock, 6 town police officers raided the party. 4 of them on foot, 1 driving a patrol car, and 1 a paddy wagon. When the police arrived, more than 50 kids scattered, Clayton Miller among them. But then he disappeared. What happened to Clayton Miller next remains a matter of rumor and speculation in New Waterford, but it is certain that late Friday night or early Saturday morning, he died. Although his body was discovered only about 75 meters from the scene of the drinking party, it wasn't located until Sunday afternoon, more than 39 hours after the police raid. Maureen and Gervais Miller were called to the scene where they saw the corpse of their son lying face down in a brook.
And that's something I will never forget. The position his body was in and the condition his body was in. The bruising and the way his arms were, one behind his back and the other one like this and his head up in the air like that there.
The autopsy report on Clayton Miller states there was no notable bruising. Miller's blood alcohol content was 120 milligrams of alcohol in 100 milliliters of blood, 50% higher than the legal limit for driving. Some witnesses at the party say Miller was very drunk. Others say that he didn't appear drunk at all. Whatever the case, Miller had been dead for a full day and a half before he was found by 2 friends, Dale McKinnon and Billy Brushett. Brushett says you could see the body a long way off.
Yeah, you can see right down, bro. I wouldn't miss him.
There's no way you could miss him.
No way.
Last fall, a judicial inquiry under Judge Hughes Randall ruled there was no culpable negligence in the death of Clayton Miller. There was no water in Miller's lungs. The pathologist found that he died of dry drowning. That occurs when the entry of cold water into the oral cavity causes a spasm of the larynx, preventing breathing and causing death. But one question just doesn't go away, even if you accept the theory that Clayton Miller simply fell into the brook and died accidentally. Could Miller, clad in a red sweater and easily spotted in the brook, have gone unseen for so long?
I would say it's impossible. With the people that were up in that area and the policeman that admitted under testimony that he walked down that brook roughly the length of our bungalow from Clayton's body and didn't see anything would more or less prove Clayton wasn't there. Yet at the same time he died roughly Friday night or early Saturday morning. Where was his body all this time? We walked there.
Gerald Coady went with us to the place where Clayton Miller's body was found. Coady was at the party that Friday night. He spoke with Miller briefly, then never saw him again. During the police raid, Coady was arrested for intoxication, although he denies he was drunk. He was placed in a jail cell in the New Waterford police station, then released later that night. Coady says the next day, Saturday, he and a friend went back to the scene of the raid to look for a case of beer they had stashed in a culvert when the police arrived. The culvert is located only a short distance down the brook from where the body of Clayton Miller was found. If Miller had been there, says Coady, he would have seen him.
Gerald, here's where Clayton's body was found.
Yeah, we were
right there. Farther. I want to make sure I understand. You walked right by here on Saturday?
We were in the dirt, yeah.
And you didn't see?
No, we were tripped over. It was impossible. He was not here Saturday. We were down there more.
Gerald Coady wasn't called to testify at the inquiry into Miller's death. He was in Toronto working. Coady told New Waterford Police Chief Doug Crowe that he would return to Nova Scotia and testify if called. But the Crown Attorney never summoned Coady, likely because of Cody's statement to a New Waterford police sergeant the day after Miller's body was found. In the statement, Coady says that he and his friend didn't go looking for their beer until 5:30 in the afternoon Saturday. But Coady maintains he said no such thing. that he told the sergeant that they went on the search between 12 noon and 1 o'clock.
The statement also says that the sergeant asked you if, when you were at the brook, if you looked back down towards Park Street, which meant you would have seen Clayton's body had it been there, and that your response to that question was no.
Well, that's wrong, too. We were down in it. We were down right in the brook.